So let's start off with before the event. Let's take a closer look at step one in planning and executing a successful event, namely before the events. Online events are a fantastic way to generate more leads and increase engagement with your audience. However, great events don't make themselves. Behind every great event is a huge amount of planning and organizing. And I can tell you now that planning and organizing is not my big and strong point, so I rely very heavily on Liesel to do that side of it, or to at least guide me through it, and I take care of the part that I think I'm actually better at. So first of all, I'm going to hand over to Liesel right now, and she's going to start talking about where we go from here.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mike. So the very first steps before the event, when you start your planning, is firstly to choose your topic and to then learning your audience's interest to prepare relevant content. And those are the very two and most important steps you can ever start taking in planning your event. And often these are some of the most neglected areas in going about planning a successful event. So we will dive a little bit deeper into each of these at the end of the introduction of step one. As Mike have indicated, we're going to deep dive into some of the most important ones we have identified through the research we have done. But to move forward to the third step then for now is that the next step is to take care of your planning. And this is so important. Charlie Munger, who's an American businessman, lawyer, inventor, philanthropist, you name it, he said that no wise pilot, no matter how great his talent and experience, fails to use his checklist. So with a good plan in place, an event is relatively simple to do. This being said, they take a fair bit of planning and communicating if you'd like them to be successful. And with this in mind, and Mike's referred to this lovely handout we've designed especially for you for this specific event, is we have drawn on our collective experience at EXO Futures Academy and at the Democratizing Entrepreneurship in Africa community to create a useful step-by-step guide for you. And we are very excited to share that with you at the end of the event. So we wanted to convert all our experience and our ideas into a very practical format. So we created that PDF for you, and you can print it and repurpose it and reuse that. We will go through that also at the end. The following step is you've done your topic, you've decided your target audience, you've done your research, you have formulated your checklist, which needs to be customized for your event. You need to construct an amazing presentation. And this is the fifth step in planning your event. If you've ever sat through a great presentation, you'll have felt either inspired or informed on a given topic. This isn't because the speaker was the most knowledgeable or the most motivating person in the world. Instead, it's because they know how to structure their presentations. They have crafted their message in a logical and simple way that has allowed the audience to keep up with them and take key messages away from their presentation. Research does support this for us, with studies showing that audiences retain structured information 40% more accurately than any unstructured information. Think of yourself when you study or when you attend a presentation. In fact, not only is structuring a presentation important to benefit the audience, for the audience's benefit, it's also very beneficial for you as the speaker, as a good structure will help you remain calm, helps you to stay on the topic, and also avoid awkward silences. You will also need some key slides for your presentation, and the emphasis here is on key slides. Slides are a useful tool for most presentations. They can greatly assist in the delivery of your message and help the audience follow along with what you are saying. Your key slides must include the following three aspects: an intro slide outlining your ideas, and you saw how we introduced yourself into this masterclass; a summary slide with the core points to remember. We already introduced the first 3 core points, the 3 stages in planning and executing a successful event, and then also some high quality images to supplement what you are saying. And you are seeing how we are presenting our slides to you this morning. Slides can be a very, very powerful tool if you use it properly. But the problem is that many of us fail to do that. Promoting your event to attract your target audience is also a very important element before the event step. Time and time again, we see that people start promoting their events the day before. I often receive WhatsApp messages or emails, come and attend my event the following day. And that's the first message I often get, not the third or the fourth one. Obviously, you need to promote your event as much as possible to reach the widest possible targeted audience, and Mike's going to talk more about that. Even though you have much to plan in your event presentation, you need to dedicate enough time to promoting your event. So that's all I'm going to say on this point, because Mike is the expert on this topic, and you'll understand more when he deep dives into this specifically in a moment. Then we need to take care of our production set. Another area where we often fail, and this is something often that many of us jump onto when it's too late. What do we consider in taking care of our production set? You need to decide on the right platform, you need to have the right equipment, you need to have the right workshop environment in which you are going to present, your internet connection needs to be stable, and you need to test your gear. So let's have a look at choosing the right event platform. It firstly must fit your budget. It must include all the features that you are going to use, like recording, like breakout rooms if you're going to use breakout rooms. If you would like to use live streaming, it must enable you to set up and link to live streaming. It must also allow you to be able to accommodate and host the number of people you would like to welcome to your events. Then, in terms of your equipment, what's very important is that you do invest in a great headset and a microphone. You do not want your audience to be straining to hear you or struggling to see you and hear what you are saying. You can invest in very good equipment at a very low cost. Your workshop environment needs to consider the following. That's very important. What your audience can see around you. It will be very embarrassing if somebody comes across walking behind me who's not dressed appropriately, as an example, and I've seen that happen before. Also, what can they hear? You do not want them to get distracted by other noises in your environment, dogs barking or people talking, etc. And good lighting. Now, something you might not have known is that good lighting can be introduced by using artificial light. I'm using my ring light at the moment. Artificial light is much better than using natural light in this kind of environment where we are meeting online. You need to make your internet connection, sure your internet connection is stable. A minimum of 3.5 megabytes per second upload is required. If not, go to an environment or a place where you can get a good internet connection and then test your gear. The best way to do this is to set up a test event, including every single feature you are going to use during your online event, including your audio, including your video, including your recording equipment, everything you may use, your breakout rooms, and test that as part of your planning process before the event. The last step in your before the event is to do your dry runs. I cannot emphasize this more than enough. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Ask a friend to act as a member of your audience and practice your presentation with your friend, or do it in front of the mirror. What I like doing is I like setting up a test environment on the platform that I'm going to use. And I then do a dry run while recording so that I can go and watch my recording and experience how I will come across to my audience members as well. So that is the intro to what we do before the event. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the two topics we said we would, which is choosing your topic and then how to promote the event. Taking a
Liesl,
closer look at choosing.
just before you
Yes.
do, I'd like to mention a comment that Guy Harris made. He says, use your slides not as a drunk uses a lamppost for support, but rather for illumination. And too often I've seen people put every single word they're going to say on the slide and then still read it back to them. So thank you, Guy, for that.